Well, it's that time of year again. Time for the Ironman World Championships in Kona, Hawaii. Well, not really. So this year we're in Nice, France, and we're going to be covering the men's race. So stay right here because I'm going to bring you some really great information on the picks that I have for the race. So how this is going to work is we're going to look at the top 10 men that we're going to have in the race by the PTO rankings, along with 3 wildcards that I'm going to bring in play later in the video to really kind of throw a real fun twist into this whole race. PTO number 16, Bradley Weiss. He's our 10th guy in the race as ranking with the PTO. He's not a strong swimmer, he's not a strong cyclist, and this is going to take a real strong cyclist to really excel in this race. Bradley Weiss is a little bit better of a runner, but I see him as not the type who's going to really be a challenge in this race. But right now, he hits the number 1 spot. Number 2, Denis Servet, French name, I'm not real good with him, but Denny is again number 15 ranked in the PTO. He's our number 9 guy in the race, a mid-pack swimmer, a not so great cyclist. He's really far down ranked in the PTO ranking for cycling, but a really, really fast runner. He'll run his way up through the field. He will get by Bradley Weiss. We're going to take him and slot him in the number 1 spot at this point. Number 14 in the PTO ranking, and a guy who's really put in the efforts to really make this race his number 1 race and best race in his life. If everything goes on point, Joe Skipper is going to come in and really put a push toward the podium. A back of the pack swimmer, really worked on his cycling, likes climbing, and a good solid runner. We may see a breakout effort by Joe Skipper, and that puts him up in the number 1 spot as we go right now. The next person on our list, Patrick Lange. He's getting a little older. He is not a front of the pack swimmer. He's a middle of the pack swimmer. He is not a strong cyclist at all. And being this a really strong cyclist race, Patrick's going to struggle in this race. He is going to run his way up through the pack. He's going to pass a lot of guys on the run. But do I see the former world champion being the world champion again? No. I see him falling in at a possible top 10 range, and right now, right below Joe Skipper. Next on our list is Daniel Baekkegard. This guy can fly in the water. He is going to be one of the first people out of the water in this race, and he will be racing from the front from that point on. A good solid cyclist, been putting in his time, and a really, really quick runner. He can have a breakout race right here, guys. He is due. I think he might push toward a podium spot, but right now, I'm going to give Joe Skipper the nod over Baekkegard, but Baekkegard the nod over Patrick Lange, and falls in right now in our number 2 spot. Number 10 on the PTO is a guy that has to have a great day. He has either a great day or a really bad day. This is Sam Laidlow. Last year we saw him fall out on the Sam on Sam battle where he bonked during the race, but then came back and showed everybody that this guy is for real, Sam Laidlow. Now, Sam is going to be right there at the front with Daniel Baekkegard on the swim. He is going to bike away from Baekkegard in the group. He is going to be at the front of that bike ride. He's going to try to hold on again in the run. Sam Laidlow, on a good day, we saw him number 2 last year at Kona. On a bad day, which he has more than he has good days, we see him out of the race. I'm going to say that Sam Laidlow is going to have a mediocre day for him, and he's going to fall in right now underneath Joe Skipper, holding a provisional podium spot. Number 7 on the PTO is Pieter Heemeryck. This guy is going to be swimming at the back of the pack. He is known to be back there. He'll be fine because his bike is really, really strong. His run is really, really strong, and if he has a good day, he will crack that top 5 in the World Championship. I'm going to drop him 1 spot below Sam Laidlow and give him the number 3 provisional spot on the podium. Now it's time to get serious. We're up to number 4 in the PTO rankings, a 3-time World Championship, a former gold medalist in the Olympics, but aging up there a little bit. Jan Frodano looks like he's back and going to be really strong. After crushing the field at the PTO US Open, it looks like he may enter this race healthy. This is his swan song race. This is his last chance to get up there and win the race. We know he's going to swim at the front. We know he's going to bike at the front. And we know he is a formidable runner. I'm going to take him right now and drop him in the #1 spot ahead of all the rest and get ready to see him battle it out with the next guy that you're going to see, the fastest guy out there right now, Magnus Dietlev, who beat Frodano's all-time best time at Challenge Roth. Not only beat it, but crushed it. Magnus Dietlev. We're going to see him again coming from way back in the pack on the swim to just destroy the bike leg, destroy the run leg, bike and run his way up to the field and take this #1 spot right here, showing the world that this young guy is totally, completely for real. What about the Norwegian, Kristain Blummenfelt? At the time of filming this, he had not rolled out the Ironman World Championship race, and he may have by the time this comes out, but he is the #1 ranked triathlete in the world. No need to tell you guys about him. He is a 70.3 world champion. He is a Ironman world champion. He is the reigning Olympic champion. He is going to be at the front of the swim. He's going to be at the front of the bike, and he's going to be at the front of the run. But we saw him sick at the 70.3s. This is why I think he's going to show up. He's going to want to show you that he was sick, he was not in best health, and he is going to come back and he is going to race this race. But we haven't heard about his great conditioning toward the 140.6. I'm going to tell you right now that I'm going to drop him in the #4 spot behind Joe Skipper. So I promised you some wild cards. Who are we talking about wild cards? #1 wild card I'm going to talk to you guys about is Cameron Worth. Cameron Worth this year has put in serious effort toward this race. He's not the best swimmer. He's going to be back in the pack with Dietlev on the swim, but then he and Dietlev are going to hook it up together on this bike ride. This bike ride suits Cam Worth, being a professional rider with Team Ineos. He rides the best equipment out there, and this is his swan song. He knows that he has to do his best race now at the World Championships to have any shot at it. Running, he holds his own. He should come out there and he should run somewhere in the low 240s to be able to stay right up there at the front of the pack. It's all going to depend on how close he and Magnus get to Sam Laidlow and Kristain Blummenfelt and Jan Frodano at the front to know where he's going to fall. But what I'm going to say is I'm going to put him in chasing Sam Laidlow all day and chasing him across the finish line in that #6 spot right now. My next wild card is some young gun. This is some young guy who's going to show up on World Championship Day without a chip on his shoulder, with nothing to prove. He's going to lay it all out there and is going to pull himself up into the #4 spot in the rankings. This guy is going to be some young gun. I can't really say who it is because I don't know. One of these guys is going to do that. And I'm also going to say that some young gun 2 is going to fall in somewhere right around the bottom of the top 10, right in the Patrick Lange range. And we're going to see 2 guys who are going to be breakout stars in the future show up and be present in this World Championship. My #3, another guy who is not ruled out being at this race at the time of filming this, Gustav Iden. Gustav Iden tried to get on the Norwegian Olympic team. Doesn't look like he'll be there. It looks like he is going to have to switch back to long course racing, or after the Asian Open where he crashed on the bike, we may see him show up and try to prove a point that Gustav Iden, the reigning world championship, is back and is going to put down the best possible race he can, but his head hasn't been in the game and he's had a really rough year. I'm going to show Gustav Iden in the #9 spot, top 10 finish for him without the greatest training for this. This is your top 10 right there with Magnus Dietlev taking the win. This is Coach John. Boom. I'm out.